Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike here, and today this is the second official Online Sellers Unite podcast. And I just want to say thanks to all the support on the last podcast. I couldn't believe how many people thoroughly enjoyed it, how many people messaged me about it and commented. I didn't think it was going to get such a good response, so thanks so much. I'm really excited to do it. It's a lot of fun for me to get to talk about different topics and not have to record, not have to edit, not have to do all this other stuff. I can just get the information out there, get it over with, and move on with my day. So there's a bunch of stuff we're going to talk about today. Most importantly, I want to talk about the future of the podcast, why it's not on iTunes yet, and what I'm working on. So we're going to talk about that to start out, and then we'll move on to some different topics and things I find notable throughout the week. All right, so to start out, there's a ton of requests for this to be on iTunes. I understand. What a lot of people don't realize is to get a podcast on iTunes isn't the same as uploading a song. You can't actually natively upload it to iTunes. Instead, you have to upload it and host it on your own website, and then you feed iTunes an RSS feed or whatever kind of feed with your podcast information in it, and they actually host it on your site and then post it on their site. So basically they're kind of listening to the information, feeding it through your site. And it's a little bit more complex than I thought it was going to be. And so right now I'm working on getting the website up. So there will be a website called OnlineSellersUnite.com up very soon. The reason it's taking so long is because I have used one-and-one hosting for many years. They're a big pain in the ass company. I don't know why I got stuck with them when I first started. They were a lot different, when I bought domains 5 years ago, and their customer service is straight garbage. I can't stand them, so I didn't want to host a WordPress site through them, so I needed to transfer the domain over. So I'm transferring over to HostGator. I did a bunch of research. There's a couple companies I chose between. HostGator seems pretty reliable. A lot of people I know have used it and enjoy them, and it's affordable. It's not too expensive. It'll only cost, like $6 to $8 a month to host the website. Anyways, transferring a domain also is more involved than I thought it would be, and it's going to transfer on the 25th. The way transferring a domain works is you have to unlock the domain, then register on both sites to transfer it, then you have to confirm via email, and then you have to wait an entire week for them to confirm everything and send it over. So right now it's scheduled to transfer on the 25th. Once it transfers, my domain will be over at HostGator. I'll do the one-step WordPress plugin or whatever. I'll get a website up, and I have a lot of plans for that website, way more than just the podcast. I have so many requests for things lately, and the community is growing a lot, so I just want to kind of talk about that and let you know what to expect on the site. There will be a blog. You're not going to get a lot of blog posts from me. I'm not a good writer. If I can hire a writer to write a couple posts per week, that would be great. If any viewers are writers and you guys want a job, I will happily pay you fairly for good writing content. I'm not good at writing. I'll happily outsource that part of any type of website. On top of that, there will be the podcast there. My videos will be hosted there as well. Through YouTube, I'll put them on the site in a separate section. But the one section that everyone keeps requesting, I have so many messages, emails, and comments about this, is doing consulting or coaching or whatever you want to call it. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And so I found an app I can install on the website that will actually give me a schedule that you can click on the website. It'll show you what days I'm available from what hours, and you can book time with me one-on-one. Obviously, it's not going to be free. There's no way I can offer hours of my time every week for free. It just wouldn't be a smart move for me. But I'm going to try and make it very affordable, and I'm also going to have another plan in mind for people that can't afford it, because I understand that not everyone can afford one-on-one consulting, and I don't want anyone to miss out because of that. So there will be, some random selections every month just to help people out for free, and it could be any viewer. It's just I want to be able to give back to some people that are less fortunate as well. Now, I never want to do coaching. I really have no interest in it, but I do like helping people, and it's just impossible to offer 5, 10, 20 hours of your time every week for free, one-on-one, because then you end up not doing anything yourself. So if I'm going to do it, there has to be some kind of charge no matter what, whether or not I like it. The other thing that keeps getting requested, and I've seen this on my videos multiple times, people are asking me if I'm going to do a Udemy or Udemy. I guess it's like U Academy, the website, and that's where you can post a video classroom kind of course and charge people, or whatever. I don't know. A lot of people have been requesting that I do one. I need to look into it more. I don't know much about it, but I need to know more so what you guys are interested in. Would you be interested in a course over there? If I do one, it'll likely be starting an Amazon business, and it will be much more in depth than even the video I did. So that video is almost at 35,000 views. People are loving it. I get so many messages about it every week, and I think I could take it a step further and make it way more professional and then put it over there as like a course. And if I did that, what is a reasonable price for the course? I went over there to look because I was like, I want to see what people are charging for FBA courses. There's courses that are like $400, $500. Are you kidding me right now? And these are from people, a lot of them I don't even consider credible. I don't even know who these people are. I'm pretty sure half of them don't actually sell on Amazon. They're just teachers. And that's really annoying to me. So if I did a course over there, what do you guys think would be a good price range for it? In general, what do you guys think is a good price range? What can you afford to pay for one-on-one time? Let's say an hour of one-on-one time. I'm more interested in what you guys think because I don't really care about the money that much, but in order for me to offer time and do that kind of thing, there has to be something in return. Otherwise, it just puts my business further behind while putting yours ahead of that. And while I love all of you, your business can never be ahead of mine, or else I'll be homeless, and then you won't have any videos or content to worry about anyways. So, yeah, all that rambling aside, that's what's going on. There's going to be an awesome website. It'll have booking where you can book time with me. It'll have my videos. It'll have a blog. It'll have the podcast. All that stuff hosted. It'll be a beautiful website. And then it will give us kind of a home base where we can hang out and have a community over there as well, which is really exciting to me. And that is one thing I always noticed about Scavenger Life is they have like a giant community that posts on their blog. And it's surprising to me. I'm surprised so many people hang out and post. And I don't necessarily want to like take away from YouTube or Facebook groups or any of that. But it just gives us our own actual community outside of the rest of them. With good information, I can control exactly what gets posted there and make sure it looks professional and is really just a good place to be. But let's go ahead and move on to the topics. I really do want to talk about quite a few different things. And before I even recorded this podcast, I was on the phone with Jinx. You know, that's the manufacturer and distributor of Minecraft gear, some other video game gear. They do Blizzard and Diablo 3, and they do League of Legends. And they're really a big, very good company. They create some really high-quality merchandise. I love them. I've had the same sales rep for many years now. And he called me the other day and he left me a message saying he wanted to talk to me. So I've been busy and I actually skipped his message and I completely forgot he messaged me until I seen an email from like 4 days ago that he sent also telling me to call him about some sale they were having and he just wanted to talk with me since I haven't really ordered much since last Christmas. And I found out some interesting information. So this is probably one of the first places you're going to hear this. If you are signed up with Jinx, this is very important to know and understand what's going on over there. Jinx is having issues with two things, mainly resellers deflating the price of their items. Very understandable since they allowed tons of resellers to sign up years ago, and those people, you know, completely ruined the market by selling items that cost them $15 and making $1 profit over on eBay. And I don't even understand how these places are in business. I don't know who these people are that are doing this, but it's part of the reason I only sell Jinx around Christmas time. A lot of their products I don't even bother with until it's Christmas time. And the other issue they're having is obviously Chinese knockoffs. They're having the issue over on Amazon even now, he was explaining to me. And so we talked for a while, and he explained that they're actually working into next year, the end of next year, pushing out all resellers. Basically, they're not going to allow resellers on Amazon almost at all. They have their own Amazon account. They do Amazon FBA themselves, and they have for a while now. So this isn't new, and it shouldn't really be surprising that they don't want to compete with their own products with other sellers. It makes no sense. It just drives the price down. And with people potentially getting knockoffs from China and selling them, it can actually bring the brand value down, which is really not good for them. And so they're going to be really pushing away resellers, especially on the Amazon front. I'm guessing by later next year, you won't even be allowed to resell their items over on Amazon. And I had a few messages in the past 2 months where people heard me say I sold Jinx, and they contacted them and they were denied membership, and it turns out that's why they're denying people. They're actually slowly making a push to get rid of resellers. Understandable. This is something that happens, especially when a company like theirs went from being a small business to really growing to be one of the top manufacturers for a lot of pop culture and video game stuff. Secondly, they'll be pushing, eBay sellers out as well. It'll be a slower process there. You can still sell over on eBay, but I don't even think they want to focus on eBay at all. I thought this was kind of interesting. I wanted to let you guys know. I did just find out firsthand. I just talked to the sales rep. Really nice guy. I trust him, and he was very upfront about everything. He told me, he's like, hey, you want to capitalize on Christmas this year? This is the last big sale we're having. If you want some certain products, I'll email you this list. And he's like, I know you're a reseller. You've been with us for a long time, but the fact is they're slowly pushing these people out. And, it's a problem that's over his head. He's a sales rep. He doesn't have the final pool. And I think it's really important that all of you understand and know exactly what's going on as well. So if you're selling on Jinx, if you have membership over there, understand that it could be revoked at any time. This is something you should expect. And we'll see if they change anything. If they change their minds, I'm sure Patrick will let me know. But I just wanted to let all of you know. Another topic I want to talk about this week are views do not equal sales. I see this in our Facebook groups, all of them, Reseller Society, Sellers Helping Sellers, Online Sellers Unite. There's a post a few times a week that say, how do I get more views on my eBay listings? And this just drives me up a fucking wall. You have no idea. This just drives me so mad. I hate when people post that exact statement because views don't mean shit. They literally mean fucking nothing. They mean you're more popular. Who cares? It doesn't do anything for your bottom line. And I want to explain why. I want to explain why this mentality of spamming your post on Twitter and Facebook doesn't work, and stop doing it. It's old school marketing. This is why you need to go read Gary Vaynerchuk's books and go watch his keynotes, because you're way behind the times and you're wasting your time. So usually there's a post, it'll say, oh, I don't have enough views on eBay. How do I get more views? And for whatever reason, the first responder in every group is always the same idiot who tells them, oh, just post links on Facebook and Twitter. And then a bunch of people jump in and say, yeah, it works. I get views when I post on Twitter. And then I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, you cannot be this naive. You really cannot. So let's explain this a little bit. When you post a link on Facebook or Twitter, specifically, let's go to Twitter, it has been proven that somewhere between 90 and 95% of all the views you instantly get on your eBay listings like that are bots. They just scroll through stuff. Maybe they're looking to snipe, maybe they're advertising bots, I don't know why, but there's bots. So yeah, you'll get a jump in views, but it doesn't matter because you didn't sell anything because it's a bot. It can't buy anything from you. Secondly, if you spam links on Facebook, you just piss people off because guess what? All the people that are following you, they're probably family members, unless you build a following, which you probably didn't if you don't understand how this works. And you just piss them off, and then they hit not to see you on their feed. So less and less people see you. You get diminishing returns. You never converted a sale from it. It's a waste of your time. If you want to convert sales, views do not matter. What matters is who the viewer is. The views on an overall level don't mean shit. What matters is the viewers that you do have, whether it be 2 of them or 100 of them, they care about what you're selling. So having a targeted audience that likes your products is way more important than having a broad audience that doesn't care 2 shits about your product, because you're looking to convert sales. You're a salesperson. You're not looking to get an audience. You're not a TV figure. You need sales. You don't need views. Views do not equal sales. Can views equal sales? Yes, if the audience is right. But on an overall level, views don't mean shit. This is so important in the reselling business, okay? You can spam a bunch of stuff in your timeline. If you're friends with me, I'll just block you and I won't see it. Why? Because you're not posting video games. Now, if you have a following and I'm part of your following and you're posting specific video games or deals, then I would probably pay attention. Now, if you're just some random person on my friends list spamming, you're just going to aggravate me and jumble up my feed with stuff I don't care about. And you don't want to do that. That is not how you convert sales. So here is how you do convert sales. Let's look at my YouTube channel, for instance, right? I built this following of 10,500 people now. It took 3 years. It took a lot of work, a lot of videos, a lot of free information, a lot of communication. I respond to more comments than anyone I know. I literally respond to every single one unless I miss it. And I build an audience. Now the question is, if I wanted to convert sales, how would I do that? I would ask you guys what you want to buy from me. That's the point of having a following. Then if you tell me you want to buy something from me, I offer that product, a good quality product at a good price, and then you guys will buy it. And there's that give-take relationship. I give you information, I build the following, you guys enjoy it. Then when I say, can you give back? You say, sure. That's what jab, 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 right hook is. That's the whole point. You want to convert sales on your eBay store, then make an eBay store that specializes in one type of thing, build a following based on that thing, and then ask for your followers to give back, and they'll be interested in the items you're selling. Now, if you're a thrifter, don't go spamming all your thrift goods all over because you're looking for such a specific person. Your only hope is the people searching on eBay. So spamming it might get you views, but it will never convert your sale. Converting sales is what matters at the end of the day, because that's what puts money in your pocket. Views does not put money in your pocket. So I think that's really important to understand the difference here. I don't understand this old school mentality. Push marketing does not work at all. Shoving things down people's throat does not work. If you want to sell something, you need to have people that want it. You need to have either a product that is absolutely substantial and way better than the rest of them, or you need to have a following that cares about whatever it is you're selling. Otherwise, the views don't matter. Views do not equal sales ever, and that's just the way it is. So the other topic I wanted to discuss is the topic of entrepreneurs are born. I'm a firm believer that true entrepreneurs are born. They're not built. They don't have some urge halfway through their life. Like, it's seriously something that you have or you don't. I really believe that. And I know we were just talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, and he's another person that believes that. But I don't think I'm not saying I follow it because Gary Vaynerchuk believes that. I believe that because of the feelings I had as a kid and the feelings I have now, and the mentality I had is so different than the average person. And I believe that's because there's a select few individuals, a small percentage of people that are born. They have this undying urge to create something, to build something, to sell stuff, to make a product, to be better than working a day job, to create something that's sustainable for them. It really is. It's hard to explain, but there's just this urge to just build something up yourself, and it's yours, and you keep pushing and pushing. And true entrepreneurs, they just don't stop. They could be rich, and they just keep pushing and pushing because there is this undying passion to build and have something that's sustainable. A lot of times it revolves around money, but that might be because money is like the staple of our society anymore. Maybe before money it was, some kind of sustainable product or something that they use for bartering. But I truly believe people are born this way. I don't think it's something you can learn. I do think that you can be a normal person that's business-minded, but I do feel there's always a difference in mentality over someone who was born as an entrepreneur versus becomes an entrepreneur. And I don't think that the people that become business people, I guess I shouldn't say they're entrepreneurs, they're business people. They're not the same. There's really not the same mentality. And I guess I'll tell a story here. I've never really done too many stories in the videos, but it's kind of a funny story, and I'll explain. I've wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was a kid. Like, when I would fill out a form in class that would say, what do you want to be when you're older? I literally learned to spell entrepreneur, and I would put it on everything that asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I would put business owner, and I would explain that I wanted to do this, this, and this. And I've always been that way. I've always wanted to work for myself, sell stuff for myself. I was actually a really good salesman when I was a kid. Unfortunately, as I grew older, somehow I became more socially awkward instead of the opposite way. But when I was a kid, I was a great salesman. And my first major business was when I was in 5th grade. I went to a school called Cleveland School of Arts. I know a lot of you may not know this, but for many, many years, I was a really good artist. My dad is fantastic at drawing. He went to school for art when he was a kid, and then for whatever reason, he stopped drawing. And I was pretty good at drawing, and I had to pass an audition to get into school. I got accepted, and I went there for like 3 or 4 years. I'll explain why I got kicked out in a minute. But I was an artist, and I loved it, and I went to the school, and there was 2 things I noticed. And this is what I mean. A normal kid doesn't notice these things. They don't even think on this level. Yet when I went to go to lunch, instead of enjoying lunch and playing with my friends, I noticed there was a lack of a market there. I really noticed that. There was no snack bar at our school. And tons of kids would bring snacks in, but there would be tons of kids who didn't have snacks, and they would always be mooching off the other kids, right? And I noticed this. I noticed there's a huge market demand for snacks at my school. We had no snack bar. So I took the money I had, maybe from my dad. I used to make money. He worked at a pizza shop, and I would come in after school, and I would fold pizza boxes for 5 cents a piece, saved up the money, went to the dollar store, bought this giant bag of candy, a bunch of chips and snacks, and he had this little red suitcase thing with different compartments. I filled them all with individual candies, went to school, started selling candy. It got to the point where I was making like $100 a week as a kid. I'm in like 5th grade, 6th grade at this point. I'm selling a ton of candy, making a ton of money. I have like this big wad of cash. Mind you, the School of Arts is over in the ghetto part of Cleveland, so it's really not safe. I used to have to take 2 buses and a rapid to get there. Really long, dangerous commute for a little guy. I was super short. I was like way undersized for my age, so pretty dangerous on an overall level. Anyways, I'm selling candy for like over 2 years. Yu-Gi-Oh becomes this huge, huge thing. Me and all my friends watch it every day. We talk about it. And while it's going on, I'm almost like the candy pimp at school. Like, I sit down to eat lunch, and there's a line of kids waiting to buy stuff from me. Seriously, it was that big of a thing. I would have a line like the snack bar while I'm trying to eat, and I'd be passing out candy and collecting money. And even my friends started helping. It became like a thing. And then Yu-Gi-Oh got really big, and I decided I was going to take over that market too. So what I would do is I would go to the store, buy a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and make the most badass deck I can create. I would go to school and challenge people, almost like you would race for pink slips, for cards in their deck, like really nice cards. I would then win, because no one could beat my deck since it was way better, since I had all the good cards. I would win and take their cards and then sell them back to them or sell them to other students, and that became a business. So now I'm selling candy and Yu-Gi-Oh cards, making a lot of money. And then the weirdest fad hits my school, and this is one of the reasons I got kicked out. Not really the overall reason, but it created some issues. And this fad of taking powdered Kool-Aid and sugar and putting it in bags and then eating it like pixie sticks, which isn't really a big deal. You kind of like lick your fingers, stick it in there, and you know, it's pure sugar. Kids loved it. I mean, and we were all eating it all the time. The thing was, only one kid brought it in, and everyone would fight over it, and it'd be gone really fast. So I decided I was going to start making this sugar Kool-Aid mix for school. And I went to the dollar store. I bought sugar. At the time, I didn't know the difference between confectioner's sugar and normal sugar. If you don't know, confectioner's sugar is known as powdered sugar. So I bought powdered sugar on accident. I take it home. I build this contraption. I cut the top off a 2-liter and flip it over and fasten it. So now I have a funnel. I'm funneling powdered sugar and Kool-Aid mix in the bags, making this mix. I take it to school, and hilarity ensues, I guess. I still can't believe that my teachers and principal thought this. I'm in 6th grade, guys. Remember this. And I start selling it to kids at $1 a bag. So I'm like, apparently the Kool-Aid sugar drug dealer now. Anyways, one of the bags got confiscated by my math teacher, and he takes it down to the principal. The principal then calls my mom and tells her that, and my dad actually, and tells them that she thinks I'm selling cocaine. This is a true story, by the way. I swear I would never make this up. She thinks I'm selling cocaine. Anyways, I get pulled out of the class. My mom's angry, but she's pretty skeptical at this point. Like, I'm a smart kid. I'm not selling cocaine at school smart. So he pulls me out of class, and we go in the car, and she's talking to me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, your principal said you were selling drugs. I'm like, and she showed me the bag, and I was like, Mom, that's sugar. And my mom's like, yeah, I know. I had a feeling it was sugar. And but why did you buy it? Why does it look like this? And I explained to her that I bought the wrong sugar. She's like, okay, whatever. She takes me home, and then a more hilarious scene takes place because I walk in the house, and my dad is like, you were selling cocaine? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dad? And he actually thought so when he found all this stuff in my room, like baggies and a funnel and all this, and he's like showing it to me, like, look at all this stuff I found. What are you doing, man? I'm like, Dad, it's fucking sugar. Like, are you kidding, dude? You really think I'm selling cocaine? Anyways, so this created a lot of tension with my principal and my teachers. For whatever reason, they thought it was a big deal. They made a huge deal out of it. The only thing that I think is a big deal is I used baggies like you would sell drugs in. Like, I grew up in drug-addicted families and stuff. I know exactly what baggies that drugs are in look like, and that's exactly what I was selling. So I could see it looked like drugs. But to think a sixth grader is selling cocaine is a bit ridiculous. Anyway, so that created some tension. And like I said earlier, I used to take 2 buses and a rapid to school. So during the winter, it was a really tough commute, like over 2 hours. And it got to the point where I just wouldn't go to school if winter was too bad. And I ended up missing too many days. So they tried to file truancy charges on my dad. Of course, he was at work when I was supposed to be leaving for school. it created some issues, but he understood why I wasn't going to. It was really a tough commute, a lot of walking in between, and so I ended up getting kicked out of the School of Arts basically, pretty abruptly too. They're just like, you need to get your son out of here. I got pulled out of class one day. Never seen any of my friends again, never heard from them. Cell phones weren't a thing back then, so we didn't have each other's numbers. We didn't have MySpace, so I lost all my friends that I had been going to school with for multiple years, and they were all artists, so we had been like-minded. And just like that, I was gone out of the school and transferred into a much closer school to my house. But I thought it was a funny story. Anyways, the topic on here is entrepreneurs are born, and I think just that story really resonates with this statement for me. No other kids were trying to sell stuff at school. No other kids even had the mindset to think that there's an open market in the snack field at your lunchroom, and that's how I've always been. As a kid, I could see an open market everywhere. If I see that a product needs to fill a market, I would try to figure out how I can make money off of it. And I would say the biggest thing that really hurts me is that after the cocaine incident and all that, my dad made a rule when he transferred me that I was not allowed to sell anything at school. And that's probably one of the single biggest mistakes my dad ever made. By not supporting your kid when they're an entrepreneur, it really hurts them because they almost think it's not okay, and they have this urge to do it. So instead, as a kid, if you don't do it behind their back, you decide not to, you almost shy completely away from it, and then you end up in a position where where I get into high school and stuff, and I'm not a good salesman anymore. I don't even care. And for whatever reason, once I got to about 17, I was getting close to graduating, that urge it was back, and I was like, I need to build something. I'm not going to work a day job and work for someone else. And that's why when I turned 18, right away, I tried to figure out a business I can make. But I'm a firm believer that really that entrepreneur mentality, that real manifest to build something and be sustainable and keep pushing, and it doesn't matter how many times you fail. Some people have it and some don't. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean you can't be a business person. It doesn't mean you can't own your own business. It's just hard to explain. Like, if I don't work for myself, if I'm not selling something, even if I have a good job, I am just utterly miserable. I would rather have my own business and make less money than have a great job making a lot of money, because I am just not happy like that. I like being in charge. I like doing market research, and I like creating things or building an audience and really just living the whole entrepreneur lifestyle. And I think what gets to me is like when I see a lot of other people's videos or mentalities, I could just see right through them. A lot of people just aren't real entrepreneurs. They're not. They say they are. A lot of them are just trying to capitalize on the following, and a lot of them are trying to rip people off. And for me, it's way more about the business ahead of everything else. And then I enjoy making videos as a separate hobby. I actually enjoy making the videos. Those two things I enjoy. What I learned to enjoy because of the YouTube channel was teaching. I never thought I would be really interested in teaching, and I realize now that I'm a pretty good teacher. A lot of people have sent me feedback and compliments and all this, and I never thought of myself as a teacher and an educator, and I love that so much. That's why the catchphrase under the channel is educating entrepreneurs, because it has become something that I love as well. And I feel like it's very similar to being an entrepreneur, because you kind of build something, it's sustainable, and now we have this following, and I can teach, and everyone helps each other in the comments and talks to each other, and it became this thing that I created just trying to help a few people, and I really just learned to love it and enjoy it. So I'm kind of rambling here, but I think most people would agree that, entrepreneurism, or I don't even know if that's a word, entrepreneurism, is that a word? I probably just made that up. It's something that you have or you don't, and a lot of people don't want to accept that, but it's just true. A lot of the other people that are in doing this are doing it because they want money. There's a select few that are doing it because they truly love the grind and building a business and getting to that point and then moving on to the next adventure. I can definitely say, no matter how rich I ever become or am, if I'm rich at all, I will continue to build businesses and followings and things that I enjoy. No matter what, I could be, a billionaire tomorrow. I would still be building some type of businesses because that's the part of it that I enjoy. Sure, would I enjoy being rich? Probably, but you can only enjoy that so much. Money only brings so much happiness. there's a limit to it. You know, a lot of people say money doesn't bring happiness. I don't think that's true. I feel money does bring a certain level of happiness, but as a person, everyone differs, and certain things make certain people happy. And I always thought being a chef would make me happy, and then realizing what the industry is really like made it so I wasn't happy. And that's when I realized I need to be an entrepreneur, because no matter how much I'm struggling, how much I hate it, or having a bad week or whatever, I still enjoy the grind and trying to make it work no matter what's going on. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is quarter 4, Q4, and my sales recently, what's been going on with me business-wise, how business is going, how's FBA going. I haven't really talked about this much recently. There will be a sales update video tomorrow, including some eBay sales, so definitely stay tuned for that. But Q4 is very important. Now, if you don't know what quarter 4 is, that stands for the last quarter of the year. Typically, the year is broken up into 4 parts. You call them Q1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, when people refer to Q4, they're referring to the last quarter of the year, which is the holiday season. So the busy season for retail is what they're referring to. And the reason it's so important is because Black Friday and Cyber Monday and Christmas, they bring really huge amounts of sales. And if you don't believe me, go look a year ago at my videos and look at where I was, look what happened, look how I managed to get 20,000 in sales in 2 months, just starting doing business full time. And you'll understand how significant it is. It really is. And I feel like people try to downplay it. There's no point in downplaying it. A lot of people try to say it's going to go away. It won't go away. It'll always be huge. Online sales just continue to go up and up, and specifically online sales during the holiday have been in a great influx. So I think it'll only convert to be that way, since Black Friday and all that is such a hassle when you go out anyways. Now, prepping for Q4 has been the biggest move for me in my business. I have never really done the kind of volume I'm doing right now. You know, all year I maintained between 400 and 700 units at Amazon FBA. I'm currently working on a shipment of 900 units. I currently have 550 units in stock. But more importantly, yesterday I spent over $800, and I just looked over it this morning. I think I have another 500 to 900 units coming in. That's an estimate, because, you know, a lot of times there's extra little stuff in boxes and in lots that can add up. But all I can say is the amount of merchandise I have now is the most I've ever had. So that makes me happy. I'm a bit concerned because the workload is building up, and I really need to get a move on with that. But I also want to continue to make content, so it becomes like this battle of what I should do and what I should focus on. The business is always very important, but I have a good amount of units at FBA now. It's just it's a matter of getting all this stuff in before it's too late. With Q4, it really runs up on you quick. If you wait too long to get stuff shipped into Amazon and get things ready for the holidays, you'll fall behind really fast and you'll miss a lot of money. So right now, in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be focusing really hard on getting every unit I have available gone to Amazon. That's one of my main focuses. After that comes the focus of getting all this extra stuff I have listed on eBay. I've been trying to list on eBay at least 20 to 30 units a week. I did pretty good last week. I haven't listed on eBay yet this week, but I am now trying the set it and forget it method, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, I'm listing things and I'm letting them sit, and I'm going to hope they sell. I'm going to wait till after Christmas and see if they did or didn't sell, and then I'll pull them. So I want to see how it goes, and so far so good. I've actually had quite a few eBay sales in the last week, and they've been a lot more consistent than they were before. So sales on an overall level are consistent and good. My FBA sales did drop off this past week. I'm not sure why. I'm assuming because I'm starting to run low on a lot of the more desirable things I had there, and when this shipment goes out, I'm sure that'll rejuvenate that quite a bit. I have some long tail stuff there that hasn't sold yet. I want to say my sales this past week were like half of what they were at FBA the week before. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but on the month, I'm going to be over 3,000 and maybe 3,500 for the month. Yeah, probably over 3,500. And that's pretty good considering, a few months back I was doing somewhere around 2,000. And the thing is, the amount of units I have going in now will actually be, when I send in 900 units, it'll be my largest shipment times 3 is how many that is. So that just kind of shows how much it's ramping up. And my actual goal is to get somewhere around 10,000 a month for FBA around the holidays. That's what I want to be at. For my first year on Amazon, that'll put me at probably close to 60 or 70,000 in sales, and that would make me happy. That's where I want to be. I feel like that's pretty realistic for one person. I can definitely do better than that, but if I'm doing 70,000 over there, I'm doing an extra 10 to 20 over on eBay, and with all my other side income streams, include my weekend job, YouTube, consulting, all that stuff, it puts me in a good spot for my age. I'm never going to complain about that income level, and I'll be happy with that. And it allows me to continue and grow the business. I think a main mistake people run into here is they try to grow a business way too fast. They think, they start on Amazon, they should be doing 20,000 a month right away. It's not the way it works. Everything's a slow process. You slowly become efficient at what you're doing. You slowly start to understand what sells, and that's the way business is. Yes, you can jump into a business and kill it and absolutely crush it right from the beginning, but it's not realistic for most people. Most people don't have the resources. Most people don't have the time. And for me, I'm fine with slowly building it, especially since I don't have a lot of expenses. My monthly expenses are under $500 for the whole month. Seriously, they are. I'm very frugal. I keep very tight cover on what I buy. I really don't spend a lot of extra money because I spend every bit of extra cash right back into the business, and I'm disciplined enough to do that. And I feel like that's what allows the business to grow, is slowly and organically let it grow and keep putting money back into it. And eventually you get to a point where you're really happy with where it's at and you sustain that level. And then maybe you go on to different endeavors and start doing other businesses. Anyways, my sales are good, pretty consistent. How are your guys' sales? How have your past week been? How has this month looked for you? For the people that are doing FBA, have you seen any fluctuation in sales lately? Mine went way up like a few weeks ago, and then they recently dropped off, but like I said, it could be unit-based. And my sales on eBay have definitely gone up since previous months. And I'm just curious to hear how you guys are doing, how your sales have been. On eBay, some of the stuff that'll be in the update tomorrow, I want to look this up and talk about it for a second, because I sold a couple jackets, which I mentioned before. That really nice leather jacket, which I want to show on a video because it's so nice. But I sold yesterday. This was really cool. And I don't know if you guys remember this. If any of you watch my thrift hauls, you may have seen this. It was a Gaunt tailored Higbee's blue wool blazer. And I sold it for like $38 after shipping was paid and all that. So $38. I paid, I want to say, a couple dollars for it. So it finally flipped. Took a few months, but it did happen. And sometimes, waiting it out does work. And that's kind of interesting. So that's what I want to talk about in the sales update. I sold some jeans I paid like $4 for 20-something. Sold some video game lots for a total of like $60, and they were just extras. And then, last month I sold one of those Pantera shirts. I still have some of those available. So sales have been pretty good, and Q4, getting ready for Q4 it's important. Really focusing and getting the stuff you need to get in to have abundant merchandise is important. I'm telling you guys, last year I couldn't believe how much stuff I sold out of, and then I realized I truly wasn't prepared. And there's a lot of people saying they don't change for Q4. It's not a big difference. It is, and if you don't capitalize on it, you're leaving money on the table. I couldn't live with myself if I did that, so it just becomes a giant hustle until Christmas. And also, there's been a lot of debate about if people should get into Star Wars or not, because Star Wars is going to be released right before Christmas. I think if, I don't know why I brought this up, but it just popped in my head. I think if you want to sell Star Wars, definitely focus on the vintage stuff. Do not focus on the new stuff. The new markets will get absolutely flooded. People will go stock up at all their local retailers, and you're going to have a massive drop in price. If you get the vintage stuff, the market's not flooded. The price won't drop off, especially after Christmas. If you have any extra stock left, prepare for the worst price cuts in the world. My gosh, it was terrible last year. I couldn't believe how much prices for toys dropped. I mean, there was toys down 80% in price in like a month. It was ridiculous. So watch out for that. Don't overstock things that could easily be bought from Walmart and retail arbitraged and all that, because those prices will definitely drop and fluctuate, and you will not be happy with that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to start wrapping up here. I originally, when I started the podcast, I was like, it needs to be an hour long. It needs to be an hour long. But now, the more I think about it, it doesn't need to have a time limit. It really doesn't. If I can stay in a range, that would be cool. Between 30 minutes and an hour is a good range, I feel like, for most podcasts before they start just talking your ear off. And I feel like setting set parameters doesn't really do anything. It either causes me to rush or try and stretch out the show, neither of which I want to do. So I do this because it's kind of relaxing. I can talk about different topics. And if you have topics you want me to talk about in any podcast, let me know. Please comment down below. Let me know. Know that next week I'll have more information about the iTunes and the website and all of that stuff. And we'll move forward. And like I said, I'll potentially get guests on. So if you have guests you want on, comment down there and let me know as well. Any of that type of stuff will... I appreciate it. I appreciate the participation and suggestions, feedback, all of that. It's I read them all. I comment on most of them, but I do take all of your advice and your information seriously. Now, with all that being said, I appreciate you all for listening. Thank you so much. If you want to help support the channel, the podcast, the website, whatever, support me. You can buy through my Amazon affiliate link down below. No extra cost to you, and it helps a tremendous amount. Trust me when I tell you, and a lot of people tell you, that AdSense doesn't pay the bills. That's beyond the truth. While I do appreciate all of the revenue from ads and the fact that you guys watch them or, don't have ad blocker, it's pretty insignificant for the amount of time I spend on the channel and videos and stuff. It really is. And the Amazon affiliate link is such an easy way to support, and it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't make your day any harder. You just click through the link and buy on Amazon like normal, and a portion of the revenue goes to me. Aside from that, please subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate all the new subs. The subs have been crazy. And go check out my video from yesterday. It was the Q&A, but I went over getting scammed on Amazon, which a lot of people were asking about. And then tomorrow there will be a pickup video. So stay tuned. Let me know all of your feedback, all the information you want to hear about, all that stuff down below. I appreciate it. Have a great night. And if you guys check out the Resellers Pulse tonight over on Chad's channel, Golden Finger Picker.